Now in today's video, we're taking a look at the status audio between 3 ANC True Wireless Earbuds. And I have to tell you, right at the opening of this video, these are the best sounding earbuds that I've heard this year. These things sound absolutely amazing. So if you're looking for what I would think is probably the best audio earbuds that I've heard to date on the channel this year, then these are the ones to check out. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the audio quality, call quality. We'll take a look at the specs and see why you'd want to consider, again, the status audio between 3 and C. No joke. If you're looking for throaty bass, they're here. If you're looking for mids, highs, right, and you're looking for that separation of audio, you're going to find it here. And if you're looking to have something that is incredibly immersive, spatial in nature, well, you're going to have it here. The question is, how do they do with call quality? Well, we're going to see that and more. So let's first talk about the specs.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the little bell icon to get notified when new videos become available.
Battery life on these. You're looking at 8 to 12 hours of battery life, and that really depends on how you're using them, right? Active noise canceling on or active canceling off, right? So that's something to be considered. You're going to get around 36 hours with the case. It does have a case, and the cool thing about the case is that it's wireless charging. Now, we've been looking to see if it has quick charge, where you can put it in for a couple minutes and get like an hour of battery life. I haven't seen anything on the specs, so we don't know if it has that. We do know that it does support Qi charging, and it has a triple driver model, right? So triple drivers with 2 balanced armature drivers, and it has literally a separation between, you have a speaker focusing on bass, one focusing on mid-range, and one focusing on treble. All right, this is, again, when I put these things on and I started listening to them, I was smiling. And I hear a lot of audio products. There's a lot that come through our studio, and these just put a smile on my face when it's delightful. That's all I can say, guys. And I know I'm gushing all over these, but they're that good. The other thing that it has is active noise canceling, up to 38 decibels, right, which is also really good. It has 6 mics, right, for calls, which we're going to see how well they stand up to the call quality. Transparency mode. It has also an IPX5 rating, which is going to mean that you can use these in the gym. Bluetooth 5.2, and then it also supports all the major codecs. So if you're worried about the codec support, it has you covered too. Now, another cool feature about these is that they also support Zoom, FaceTime, Skype, Teams, Google Meet, right? You can use them in all these situations. And I've also been able to use them independently. So multi-point independent use, and they look great too. So let's check and see what's in the box. Now in the box, you're going to find several accessories. First of all, you have your standard ear tips, right? And these are the ones they have here, small, medium, and large, like you would expect. And then what you then have is these that are more designed for almost, they're the same, but they have kind of like wings that are going to give you the ability to have better stability when it comes to working out in the gym or running. They haven't fallen out for me, so you're going to see what they look like on in a second. We also then have the actual earbuds themselves in the case, which we'll take a look at in a second. And then what you have is a USB-C cable and a USB-A, right? USB-A to USB-C. Now keep in mind that these do come in 2 colors. I have the bone color, but there's a dark color that you'll be able to get as well. And as you can see here, this case is pretty small. It's very compact. And we didn't have the previous version, but there's another version out there, 1st gen, that seems to be a little bit larger than this one. On the back, you'll see USB-C. Over here, you'll notice that it has a little power button, or not a power button, but this is a pairing button that you could use. And then when you open these up, you're going to get, again, a status indicator. The earbuds themselves, they kind of lock in. They're self-guiding, which is really good. So as soon as you put them in, they go in really easy. You can see how that happens right there. And you can see that they're not going to come out, even flipping them over. And the case, check this out, very clicky. Now from a wireless charging perspective, all you have to do, I'm going to put it on my brick here, and you'll notice that they start charging as soon as they touch the Qi charger. Now the earbuds themselves, we'll go ahead and take them out of the case here, are unique, right? We haven't seen this design. Now they are in ear, like you see most earbuds, which is the same. At the very top, you're going to see right there that you have 2 buttons, and we'll get that a little bit closer so you can see that right there. So you can see that there's 2 buttons there. Those are going to be the tactile buttons, and that's going to allow you to enable and also disable active noise canceling or transparency mode. Also here in this area, you have the ability to play, pause. It does have touch, so it has a combination of physical buttons and touch as well. They are very comfortable to wear, and you can see at the very bottom you have the contact points right there. Very comfortable to wear. So I'm going to put one on, and I'm going to just put it in place, and then I'm just going to twist to lock them into place. And they lock in pretty good. So I'm going to turn to the right so you can see what it looks like. And then I'm going to turn to the left so you can see what that looks like. Right? So for the most part, when you take a look at them, I don't think they stand out this much. Now, again, because of my color complexion and the color of these, you're going to see them a little bit more. But very comfortable, and they have a great passive seal. So as soon as you put these in your ear, you have a great passive seal. Combine that with active noise canceling, you have even a better experience. So once again, we'll turn to the right. We'll turn to the left. And then what I'll do is I'll look forward so you can see how much, if they disappear or not. And again, this is going to vary based on your face geometry, right? So depending on your size of your cheeks and just your overall contour. But you can see what they look like. Incredibly comfortable to wear. Now, what is the audio experience and also the transparency mode? Transparency mode is not super hearing, but it is good. It is actually really good. You're going to be able to hear everything. Everything around you is going to sound natural. It doesn't seem to sound robotic. And one of the things I found pretty interesting is that I tend to use earbuds one earbud at a time. And I was actually at the grocery store with Nilda earlier today, and I actually had only one earbud in my ear, and transparency mode worked. And I find that many earbuds on the market don't allow you to do that. And I like to keep one earbud in my ear just in case I get a phone call, or maybe sometimes I'm just listening to an audiobook in one ear. But I can have transparency mode on and not have to take it out of my ear if I want to have, again, a full audio experience. That is super cool. And again, the fact that these are multi-point means that you can have them connected to devices at the same time: laptop, phone, tablet, phone, and when a phone call comes in, it's going to switch automatically. Now, what else can we talk about these? Fatigue-free. Really haven't had any fatigue issues as I've been using these, and I've been using these independently and for quite some time, so that's pretty good. And again, the battery life is also spot on. Audio experience. This is where I was talking about earlier. It does have various settings, and I'm using the actual audio that's been designed for this platform, for this model. It does have three settings that are three profiles that you can choose from that you'll see in the app in a couple seconds. And I'm using the one that has been tweaked with this. Again, you have those three components, right? You have 10 millimeter drivers, and you have that bass, mid, and treble all separate. Right, so it's going to be able to give you an incredibly immersive experience. And I'll tell you, as soon as you go to the different modes and you hear to other speakers or earbuds, and then you hear this, you're going to hear a significant difference. So let's go ahead and listen to our audio test. And then what we'll also do is we'll go through our EBPMAN style call quality test. Now, next we're going to do a call quality test at the between 3A and C in a quiet environment. If you take a look at our decibel readings, around 25 to 26 decibels of noise. It's going to switch.
Now, this is what the between 3A and C will sound like in a quiet environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now we're going to add some wind to the environment. This is what the between 3A and C would sound like with wind in the environment. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test.
Now we're in a much noisier environment. As you can see here by decibel readings, anywhere between 40 all the way up to 79 decibels of noise. That's a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay quiet once we switch to the 3A and C to see how much is being canceled out, and then we'll continue with the audio call. Let's go ahead and switch.
Now, this is what the between 3A and C sound like in a noisy environment. This is the test. 1, 2, 3. This is our test. Now, next, this is what the 3A and C would sound like if there was an infant crying in the background. This is what they would sound like with an infant crying in the background. Now, if you're wondering what they would sound like with a dog barking in the background, well, this is what they're going to sound like with a dog barking in the background. Now, if you're wondering what they're going to sound like with a doorbell ringing in the background, well, this is what they're going to sound like with a doorbell ringing.
Now, the app for the between 3A and C is minimalistic, and it's just super duper clean. What you'll find here is that you can see your earbuds, you can see your left and right and battery life, you can see your firmware. You're going to need to want to install this because this is how you're going to be able to update them. You could determine if you have ambient mode on or active noise canceling, and you get a little audible thing, and then all of a sudden it kicks in. And what I'll say is that when you go between each one of these, there isn't really the kind of pressure that you have sometimes with True Wireless Earbuds with ANC. So in my experience, it's been really good. Now, this is where I would say I was just floored. So you basically have 3 audio modes, and actually there's 4. You have a status signature, which is the one I prefer and gives me an immersive experience. And for me, immersive means that it's not that the music is playing at you or the music is coming, I would say, from the side of you. It is like if you were sitting inside of a studio and you were behind the glass, like you were there listening to the music, the guitar strumming, the let's say the drums being hit, the audio, the vocalists singing. It is immersive, just like that. That's what I love about that status signature, just having that kind of experience. The status audio file is also really great, but I find that it's more alive when you look at the status signature. And then for those of you who have the original Between Pros and you just want to have that, you can go with that as well. But again, my preference is the top one. Now, let's say neither of those work for you. Well, what you could do is you can have a default mode or you can have an EQ mode, and you can actually adjust it yourself. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my favorite, which is going to be the status signature. Now, when it comes to the app, that's pretty much it, guys. There's nothing else to it. If there's a firmware upgrade, you get it, but there's really nothing else as you go around this, and as you click on things, you're seeing kind of like all the stuff that we were talking about here. So very, very simple, clean, minimalistic app used for firmware upgrades and just to make those key changes. Status signature is my favorite.
You look at me like I'm crazy when I shut my feelings out. You look at me like I'm different. Still you stay cause you feel something real. Get so lost in my moments. Doesn't mean I don't need you. I fell in love with your colors. They kinda tell me what I'm thinking. I fell in love with the way we are and the way we live.
So guys, that wraps up our review. See you in the next video.